Taylor and I'm back at school, so we're gonna talk about how to live with roommates. It is September, meaning school is back in session. I'm back at Northeastern and I'm super excited about it, but also I guess I kind of forgot that like when you're in college you also have to do homework, and that recently hit me. But I'm living in an apartment now with a bunch of my friends, so I'll probably drop an apartment tour at some point and a week in my life vlog, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe for that. Today we're gonna talk about how to live with roommates. Since I spent my freshman year with 4 other roommates, I kind of know how to live with people by now. Well, a little bit. Also, they're doing construction right across the street from me, and also people just love to honk in Boston. Yup. Cool, so let's get started. So the first thing that I want to talk about is, this may be a little bit late considering that most people have moved in and started college by now, but talk about things that you have in common. Like figure out if you guys both like a TV show, or if you both have a certain taste in music. It helps to block out a specific time that you're all free, where you can all do something together and form some sort of bond. Next one, you don't have to have matching bedroom layouts, but it helps to coordinate what you're bringing to school, like cleaning supplies. I don't know, what do people bring to school? I had an 8 a.m. lab earlier and it is like 10 o'clock, so my brain is low-key fried right now. Okay, another tip is that if you haven't already, definitely set up some ground rules for your dorm, because you need some type of structure and some type of foundation going in where you both understand each other's limits, so you don't end up driving each other crazy. So an easy way to bring this up, especially at Northeastern, is with the roommate agreement that you have to sign. I think it's required freshman year, but you have to basically make a contract of what you guys are okay with and what you're not okay with. But if you don't have that at your school, basically just draft your own. It doesn't have to be as serious as like a contract. Like just say like, hey, I was wondering if we could talk about what we're both okay with and what like works for us, and like how basically how you live at home and how I live at home and how that's gonna work together. Some examples of what my roommate set up were that I was in a triple last year. So if 2/3 of that room wanted to go to sleep, then we would be able to turn out the lights. But if it was just one person who wanted to sleep and the majority of the room wanted to stay up, then we would just leave the lights on. Another one could be like, I don't want to share pots and pans, I don't want to share my food. Oh, another tip that I have is know each other's schedules. So this is very helpful, especially if you both have like morning classes or in terms of when you have to wake up. Also, just during the day, it's helpful to know when you might have the room to yourself so you can take a nap. Something that I suggest for this is getting a whiteboard. So we just wrote up our own time schedules on like a little timesheet. Now I can just look at it in the living room and know where we are. So random roommates are kind of daunting. They can be either a major hit or major miss, but really you just have to be able to live with that person. You don't have to spend all of your time, you don't have to become best friends with each other. Like you just have to be able to live together. And one of my friends at school, she's still living with her random roommate, and they're not best friends, they just work well together. But be optimistic going into it. If you go into it wanting to make friends and just overall, once you get past that first stage of awkwardness, things do get better. And if they don't, talk to an RA, talk to an upperclassman, talk to someone outside of the room. But if it's really serious, definitely talk to an RA. If you're put in a suite, do not worry. Usually that means that the space is somewhat bigger than a normal freshman dorm. And also that just means that you have more people to talk to. And I like talking to people, so that's nice. But if you don't, invest in some headphones. Next tip is learn to move quietly just in general. Whether or not your roommate is a light sleeper or a heavy sleeper, just overall being courteous to them. The polite thing to do when they're asleep is to not slam the drawers and not stomp around the room. As someone who is a light sleeper, I definitely appreciate it when my roommate doesn't slam the drawers and stuff. Honestly, I've kind of gotten my light sleeping like handled. So if you guys want a video on how to like actually sleep well in college, even if you have like a bunch of roommates or if you're by a busy street, let me know, because I would love to share those tips on how to get a good night's sleep. Do not, I repeat, do not snooze your alarms constantly. Just don't. Learn to wake up from the first or second alarm. Anything past 2 and your roommate will dislike you, especially if you're a heavy sleeper and you have a loud ass alarm. Oh, it just makes me mad. Just thinking about it makes me mad. This is a major key. 2015 called communicate. Any relationship that you have, once you're an adult, if you have a problem with that other person, talk about it. Even if you have to like sort of make a joke out of it to bring it up, which is something that I do, and honestly, it really works. Just bring it up. Oh, another major piece of advice is own up to your mistakes. Nobody's perfect. If you do something and then they call you out for it, your first instinct is to get defensive and say like, oh, I didn't do that, like that's not me, blah, 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 blah. But that kind of only snowballs the problem. So if you do something wrong, own up to your mistakes. They should understand that you're a person, they're a person too. Kind of in the same vein, you're gonna make mistakes, but also your roommate's gonna make mistakes. So you have to be flexible. They're not gonna be a perfect person who's just like quiet whenever you need them to be and not messy at all. Like, it's another person. If you make mistakes, they definitely make mistakes too. So pick your battles with what you actually want them to be aware of and like what you can just kind of deal with. Lastly, don't steal. Should go without saying, but I feel like I should say it. Don't steal, don't borrow without asking. Even if they said earlier that you could use it, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't hurt to ask again the next time you want to use it. Because there's nothing worse than like walking in on your roommate like using your shit. This hasn't happened to me, but I'm sure that that's the worst. You don't want to end up being someone's roommate horror story. We don't want that. So, that being said, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys found it helpful. I know a lot of you guys are freshmen, and also a lot of you guys have said hi to me since I came back to campus, so that's really tight. Subscribe to see more videos like this. Like this video if you want me to talk about other college topics. I will definitely be doing a week of my life and also a dorm tour, so stay tuned for that. But that's it for this week, so bye!